Hello, this is Colin with Maker Farm. In this video we're going to show you how to assemble the Y bed. This is the heat bed mount for the i3V Prusa. The V Prusa is the one that uses the aluminum extrusion. Go ahead and make sure you download the build guide. Find the Y bed page and make sure you gather everything that is listed on that page. We're going to start with these 4 pieces of wood. You'll notice the heat bed plate. Just like all the other pieces, there's an R with an arrow. We want to make sure that that is our top, and that when it's fully assembled and installed in our machine, the arrow points to the right, which for me is this side, for you would be that side. To start off, we're going to get these pieces here, just break them apart from each other. Basically, this little cross slots into these pieces here, just like that. That is going to get installed on the underside of our bed. So there's the top of our bed with our direction and that little piece on the bottom. Then you can tighten that down. I believe that one is one of the 25mm long M3 bolts. And get a lock nut. If you have needle nose pliers, it makes tightening this piece a lot easier. Or you can just do it with your wrench too, if you hold on to it the right way. Okay, so we've got that mounted to the bottom of our piece. Next thing we're going to do is we have a little hole right here. Just going to take a 16mm long M3 bolt, put it down in there, get a lock nut on the bottom, and just tighten that up. The only purpose of this bolt is to just trigger our end stop switch. So if you don't put it on here, once you get it all assembled, you wish you had. So make sure you don't forget that. Just tighten it down, and you'll see the bolt head there, and you'll see it sticking out on the underside. Okay, now the last pieces to put on here, just like in the X motor, X idler, we're going to go ahead and put these idlers together just like this. You'll use 2 of the 625 bearings. You'll also want to get 2 of the aluminum standoffs, and you will get 2 of the eccentric spacers. You'll notice on your bed there's a small hole and a large hole. So on the right hand side there's a smaller hole, left hand side there's a larger hole. On the side with the smaller holes, that's where the aluminum spacers will go. On this side with the larger holes, that's where the eccentric spacers are going to go. So basically you can take your spacer, and actually what we want to do on here is also get some M5 washers. You're going to put on your spacer and then put on an M5 washer. And then you can go ahead, put it on. Do the same thing with the other one. Get your aluminum spacer, M5 washer, Put your lock nut on there. Just like the other videos, you can tighten it down. Just make sure it turns freely afterwards. Okay, then for other one, you're going to put on your M5 washer first, and then put on your eccentric spacer. You do that with both of them. So you can see the collar on the eccentric spacer. And then the same as the other ones. Get it aligned on the bottom of the bed, push it in, just like the X idler. And the X motor now on the eccentric spacer ones, we're going to put a washer on the other side. And then you can put your lock nut on. And do that for both of them. Okay, so now you can see the front of our plate. All you're going to see is just the couple bolt heads and then the lock nuts. On the underside though, you're going to see all of our idlers, the little bolt to trigger our end stop. This has two holes in it, you'll notice. That's later where we're going to put our belts. Basically we're going to have a little loop in our belt that's zip tied. We're going to put it there, and then we're going to put a bolt through to hold the belt into place. And then later on what we can do is we can, when we get this ready to install, the side with the eccentric spacers on our X motor, our X idler, basically everywhere that uses those, you can use a wrench and you can turn that eccentric spacer, and that will tighten or loosen. Basically it'll move this idler in or out, and that will allow us to make sure that it sits perfectly and has a nice smooth ride. So if you have any questions, make sure to refer to your build guide. There's also contact information where you can contact us in the build guide if you have any additional questions. Thank you.